Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. And if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. All right, I just want to talk to you about practicing something. I want to talk to you about separating food from fun. Okay, so this is about enjoying the holidays without making food the main event. And if you've ever walked into a holiday gathering and immediately scanned the dessert table before saying hello to everyone, I see you. I have done that as well. And it does not make you a bad person. It just makes you trained to do that. Okay. That's just something that we do. So I want to give you some tools just to help you stay a little bit present, enjoy the holidays, taste the food that you want, and not overeat just because everyone else is. Okay. So I want you to just relax, grab something cozy, and dig in. Okay. The truth is, we are very trained that holidays equal food and that all the love and warm, cozy feelings about the holidays, that's super tied into food. Right? It's not just any food, but it's also the scarcity mindset of this, we can only have this food once. It's all really just programmed in. So it's totally normal that we would think that way. And it's going to be a little bit of a strain on our brain to try and break those threads, break those associations. So every holiday has its signature dish. I think Christmas just has so many more with sugar and icing and all the things, right? We've got Christmas cookies. We've got gingerbread houses. We've got the hot chocolate with the peppermint sticks. We've got all the things. The fudge. People are sending food to your house. There's food in the office. There's just food, 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 food. And food is how we celebrate, and it's how we connect, and how we show love, and food is fun. But not really, okay? This pressure that we feel to eat is also there, right? You have to try this. I made this. It's your favorite. One more cookie won't hurt. Have you tried this? All the things, right? And so overeating kind of becomes the default. So what I want to teach you is just a little bit of mindfulness around holidays and food so that maybe we can start to give our brain some threads to pull on, right? If we start to, it's like the Matrix when we start to notice one thing's wrong, right? So if we can give our brain some little threads to undo the matrix of food equals fun, I think that would be great, right? That would be fun. So, holiday joy, holiday food are allowed to be two separate things, right? The fun of the holidays and the connection and the family and the comfort and the joy get to all be separate from the food. Okay? Two separate things. They exist independently. We can enjoy Christmas without overeating, and we can enjoy all of those things and the people, right, without overeating. We can have different ways to have the pleasure, the fun feeling. And so I want to give you 3 of them that will help your brain maybe start to recognize these and maybe pull away from the food component. So we can have emotional pleasure, right? And that is the connection. So we can really intentionally take a look around the room. Who are our people, right? Really watch someone open a gift. Really engage in that conversation. The quiet moment when everyone's sitting together, right? Maybe we're just sipping some tea, laughing, hearing stories. None of those things are eating, okay? So I love to almost be like a fly on the wall and just take in how happy my people are. I love seeing the joy on their face. That is so powerful, and that has nothing to do with food, okay? So emotional pleasure. We can do sensory pleasure, right? That's the coziness, the lights, the sounds, right? I get this I love when my lights go up outside. My husband does it early for me every year because it brings me such joy. I love the twinkly lights. I like the fireplace crackling, the scent of pine, right? The nice, like, heated blankie, the Christmas music. None of that is food. Okay. That's being like really immersed in all the coziness and the stuff that's not food that brings us pleasure about just cold weather and the holidays and all the stuff. Okay. And then memory making pleasure. And this one's a little sneaky, but it is powerful. Okay. So that's like the family stories, right? I kind of got sucked in. My phone does like these, you can search like you and another person and it'll pick up every photo you've ever taken with them. And I was looking for something and it did me and one of my boys. And then I made it do that one with my other boy, right? And it was just like this pleasure of all these memories we've created. And you know what was in none of those pictures? Food. That might not be true. There might have been a birthday cake in one of them, but that had nothing to do with eating. Okay? So when we start to ask our brain to pay attention to these things, remember what we focus on grows. And so when we ask our brain to take in these other types of pleasure that are not food and keep reminding it, like, this is the holidays, my friend, like, this is the holidays and it has nothing to do with dinner. This is the holidays, it has nothing to do with the cookies. This is the holidays, it has nothing to do with the gingerbread house. These are the things, okay? The things that are not food that bring us pleasure. But we are going to have to point it out to our brain because it's just going to, like, we've been so programmed that it's the food. Okay. Remember, when we are eating, I want us to savor, not numb. Okay. So when we do eat the food, and maybe it is the once a year we get it, I want us to really be present and taste it and savor it. Okay. I don't want to be eating to numb or buffer, which is like escape the noise, escape the stress, escape the overwhelm, escape like weird Uncle Eddie or whatever. Right. So if I need to distract from family dynamics or anxiety or awkwardness, maybe I should have a plan for that ahead of time that has nothing to do with food, because that's numbing. That's not savoring. Right. We have a neighbor that makes the best eggnog ever. I want to savor that. I don't want to waste my alcohol drink, right, on numbing. I want to savor that. It is something special. It happens once a year. Okay. So food's really not the problem here. It's the numbing. It's why we're eating. So food is supposed to be pleasurable. We can get pleasure from food, but I want us to train our brain to look for other ways of pleasure. And when we are having that food, I want us to savor it mindfully, not just numb out because there's like all this other stuff happening. We don't want food to be like our emotional support tool for the day. So being present is really the key here, and it's much more luxurious than any dessert, and it's going to last much longer, right? If you can fully be tuned in and really teach your brain to see all those other pleasures, those all last. Right? Those memories, that like look on someone's face, that like feeling of being cozy, those are much easier to recall and re-experience than the piece of pie. Right? So really being present and asking our brain to be full in on these non-food pleasures will actually last us much longer and is actually more indulgent. Like, it's actually much, like, it will last much, much longer than that pie. So remember, we want to savor our food, but we'll go through them again. It's like the pleasure of emotional pleasure, the pleasure of connection. So it's about having those conversations. It's about watching people and watching their joy. It is sensory pleasure, like really taking in, like, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? Like all those things, right? Well, I feel an opportunity for mini meditation in here when we're chatting, right? So it's the lights twinkling, the fireplace, all those things. We can take that in, and then the memory making, like recalling old memories or just like It's making me think when like someone's like, I'm taking an emotional snapshot or like a snapshot in my brain, right? We want to do that. And then if we are going to eat, when we are doing the food piece, we want to be mindful and we want to savor instead of numb. All right. So hopefully this has been a helpful little episode for you on this very food full holiday. And is it crazy? But next week's going to be New Year's, and we're going to talk about some things then. In the meantime, to get ready for our New Year's episode, what I want you to do is start thinking about a focus word. And we've done this in years past, so I will find what episode that was and put it here. But I want you to think about what word would really be like a great GPS for 2026. And then just loosely start thinking about some goals for 2026, right? And we will talk more about how to bring those into reality and what we can do with that focus word when I talk to you in January. So happy 2025, everybody. And I will see you next time. Bye.